This episode is sponsored by Lumi. If the summer heat has you worried about the strength of your deodorant, listen up. I'll tell you what, the summer heat has me worried about the strength of my deodorant because I have no air conditioning in my car. Not ideal, not demure. I'm about to turn you on to the only deodorant you'll ever need. It's called Lumi Whole Body Deodorant, and it's formulated for all areas of your body that tend to get stinky as the weather warms up, like your pits, privates, and feet. Yes, I did say privates. Not only does it go where other deodorants don't, but it is outrageously effective. One application in the morning is clinically proven to block odor all day. Are you ready to make this summer your freshest summer ever? I am. New customers get 15% off all Lumi products with my exclusive code. Use code ShannonXO at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com. One more time. The code is ShannonXO at LumiDeodorant.com. Okay. No lie. This is the fourth time I'm trying to film this intro. Because if you're watching, you can see I'm not in my normal setup. I am, in fact, in New York City. I'm in my sister's apartment. She's not even here. She's in Dallas. I'm here. Last minute got booked on a flight yesterday to come. Today's Monday to work tomorrow. And then I have to go back to LA on Wednesday. So all of this is so last minute. And I keep trying to record this intro. And it keeps not saving. And I'm not kidding. I literally filmed it 3 times all the way through. So, between the first take and the second take, I was like, whoa, that kind of got better. Between the second take and the third take, I kind of was getting like in a bad mood. Between the third take and the fourth take, now I'm like delirious because it's also midnight now. Not that it's taking me, each time took me 15 minutes. So I already started late into the evening. But if this does not work, I'm going to lose my mind. And if you're watching, you can see I'm filming this on my MacBook. I had to film an ad on my MacBook and I want it to look the same. So I was like, oh, I'll make it cohesive. Anyone in their right mind would be like, let's film it now on a different camera. I'm not in my right mind. I want it to look the same. So I'm trying to do it like this. But if it doesn't save this time, I don't know what I'll do. Honestly, I don't know what my patience is being tested. And I would like to say I am usually a pretty patient person. Anyway, I'm so excited for this episode. I'm so grateful to have Zoe on for my last time in my room with her at our house together where we live. How cute, how sad. I am moving. I'm literally moving September 1st. So literally any second. But I am doing a slow move. I don't have to move all the way out until October 1st. So it's not like the end of hangs, the end of days, the end of anything. Except for like, it is the end in a way, which is sad. But also, Zoe and I have lived so much life together in our house. And I'm so grateful for all the memories. We've both grown so much, like immensely, career-wise, personally-wise. We've loved, we've lost. We've had so much happen in that house together. And I will be eternally grateful for the experience of being her roommate. And I am so happy, too, that we are leaving this roommateship still as friends and like more than friends. I consider Zoe family of mine. So I'm glad that it's not the end of anything. If anything, it's just a new beginning. And I can't wait for you guys to see my new setup at my new place. It will take time, I'm sure. So there will probably be a temporary setup for a bit, but I can't wait to see it. I don't know what it's going to look like either, but I'm so grateful that this podcast is just growing and changing and life is getting better all the time and changing and I'm learning, I'm growing, etc., etc. My intro this week is going to be short. I know. Sue me. I don't know if you guys care if it's short or not anymore. I can't ever tell exactly. So please let me know what you like. My manager told me that you can see the skip rate and that people will skip through the intro. So you're not all watching it. But actually, it's kind of fun. Like we had this like little special like one-on-one thing, which speaking of special one-on-one things, my Patreon live show comes out this week, this Friday. You can watch it. Okay, I said Friday, but I meant Thursday. It comes out on Thursday, not Friday. Crazy. But you have to be a paid member of my Patreon. So it is $5 a month. But if you pay the $5, you will also get access to the whole backlog of every single thing I've been posting since March, which is a lot of content. So I hope that you, if you're interested at all, will check it out. And yeah, if you've never been a member of Patreon before, I hadn't ever before I started mine. It's so fun and so easy and so cool. And like, yeah, if you have $5, if you don't, you can be a free member on there too and be a part of other things. But just saying, if you want to watch the video, if you want to watch the episode, it is $5 and I hope you'll check it out. And you can go to patreon.com/nowthisisliving. I love you guys. I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great week so far. And I can't believe I'm moving next week. This is fucking crazy. Okay, enjoy this episode with Zoe. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to X's and O's, a podcast where we talk about queer relationships and sex. And today's guest, you know her, you love her, you've seen her before. This is her third time on X's and O's. And for good reason, because she is a pop star, she is a director, she is an editor, she is going on tour next month, and she's also my roommate, Zolita. I said it kind of right?
You did. Zolita.
Zolita. Usually I say Zolita, but it's like, I like it like that.
I can't believe this is the third time.
And
I can't believe that the last time was
Valentine's Day. We were in a very different place in our life.
We were just listening to it a little bit.
Yeah.
And whoa,
a lot has changed. A lot has, except for also not, but a lot has changed since we moved in here, which was March 2021.
Yeah. Guys, almost 4 years. That's
three and a half years. And I am moving out. I'm moving out. It's so sad. And I got the text saying I got approved for my new place while we were brainstorming for this episode.
Yeah.
So
very emotional.
It's going to be so sad. Don't cry. It's going to be so weird.
I haven't let it hasn't sunk in for me. I haven't thought about it too hard.
I'm also moving 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah. So
to
close.
Be fair.
Great area.
Yeah, it's a great area to be.
It's a great area to be.
But it's going to be so different. It's like weird having a roommate for a long time because we're going to have to be so intentional about the time that we spend.
But I think it'll be really good because I feel like this happens when you live with a friend. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh, I see them. I'm just going to see you all the time.
Yeah.
And we do end up, obviously, we spend so much time together because we both work from home. Mm-hmm. And we just like talking. We'll talk late into the night.
Yeah,
and stuff,
totally.
But there's not as much like intentional hang.
Yeah, we don't go to dinner.
Got dinner. Yeah.
Well, I remember the last time we
had
drinks. We'll get into that later. But you definitely have to be, we're going to have to be more intentional, but I think it will make our friendship stronger because it won't be just so like in passing. Although
I agree.
Our friendship is
It is, but it's going to be a different level of strong.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm excited.
Different kind of strong. Less like, obviously your family always, but like this, it almost feels like a sibling dynamic.
Oh my God, yeah.
When you live together, and I think it'll feel less sibling.
Totally.
Because the things that like, when you live with somebody, there are just little things that are going to, become a thing or bother you that like would never become a thing if you didn't live with
because all our problems are usually regarding a house and the roommate vibe of living together.
Yeah.
Not like socially, interpersonally, whatever. So it's going to be different, but it's sad.
We did a really good run. 3.5 years. This is the longest I've lived anywhere since my childhood home, and the longest I've lived with anybody besides like my family. So.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We did good.
We did really good.
Yeah. I think it's probably the longest I lived anywhere too. I'm trying to think about the longest. It's definitely the best vibe I'm leaving with a roommate ever.
Like it's
like we're still on really good terms.
We didn't ever me really happy.
Yeah, me too. Nothing ever got too crazy up in here. Not too crazy.
Not too crazy.
Okay, should we just talk a little bit about like our favorite things about the house and least favorite things? Yeah. And we have a very funny little landlord.
Mm-hmm. Did we talk about how we found, like when we first?
No, and also Zoe's staying here.
Yeah,
by the way.
I'm staying.
So
I
get to come back.
Yes. That's going to be so funny. Do you feel weird about that?
It's going to be weird because I was thinking about it. I'm like, someone's definitely going to paint that wall.
That was the first thing she asked.
Obviously. I mean, you should. I also kind of gave up.
Am I allowed to like repaint stuff?
Oh my God, change everything. It needs to be painted anyway because
the whole house needs to be painted.
Truly.
Everything, we kind of like really let it go over the last year, I would say.
I feel like it's because we knew one of us was eventually going to move out. So it's like you stop wanting to like invest. Mm-hmm. I wonder in the last episode if we talked about how long we were going to live here. I don't feel like we did.
No.
Anyway, I'm moving out. And how did we find the place?
We found the place on Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
But when I came and visited it, it was so undone. Like there was so much that needed to be done. But I think I just like walked in and I was like, oh, natural light. So much natural light on a hill. There's, views. There's a yard. I think instantly it was like, this feels like it feels like a house too. Mm-hmm. It is a house.
Yeah. And I texted you. Remember? Yeah. So
you sent me the send me the
no,
link
I think I just replied and said I like the one with the blue door.
Yeah.
But also when we say we found the place, Zoe found the place. Zoe did all of the work to get us here because I was out of town.
You were out of town, yeah.
We started looking together. We found one place we loved. We loved it so much.
We put crystals in the yard. We were like, we're gonna get this because we're manifesting and we're putting crystals in the yard. We saw that video. We should put that.
Oh my God, we need to. I also can't believe you were like way more witchy.
Yeah, that's kind of, I've lost it. Hey, there's shells in the yard.
I saw the shells.
Yesterday, you and Becca was like, what is this shit?
I literally thought someone was doing a ritual, like a hex on us because there's seashells right by the front door. I'm like, what the hell?
I was sick of them in my bathroom and I was like, I'm going to put them outside.
I thought you were like charging them up by the moon.
No, I was just like, these don't need to be in my bathroom anymore.
Okay, so yeah, you have lost the witchy thing.
I've lost it a bit.
Not all the way.
Not all the way.
She was very witchy. And also my experience of being your friend before that was like going and doing tarot cards with you. So I was like, oh, Zoe is a witch. And we went and looked at this house. I was like, oh my God, I love the house. And then we got a crystal. We put it in the front yard. But thank God we didn't get that house because
we would have moved out after a year for sure.
It had one bathroom. That's too much to do.
And I feel like the 2 stories, like in that small of a space, would have been problematic.
Yeah, because also, who knows what would have happened, but everything worked out the way it was supposed to. But this place was like unfinished. The door was a door. I have a barn door for my front door, for my bedroom door.
Like. Yeah.
I found a video of you walking through it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a door yet, but it was, that wasn't up.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole house was unfinished. And then we moved in and the house was also still unfinished. So we were like, landlord,
hello,
what the hell's going on in here? Because we kind of moved in and then you had to fix a bunch of stuff, change your vanity. A lot has changed.
So much changed.
But our landlord is a silly little guy. He gives us $100 off for Pride.
It's the cutest thing ever. Happy Pride, ladies. Here's $100 off your rent. It's genuinely the
sweetest thing ever. What else does he do? Oh, he also, when we first moved in, he told us we should sell our cars and he was going to buy 2 Teslas for us to share.
Rent and share.
Yeah. Share with our back neighbor who is a stranger.
Yep.
We don't know her. And we were like, what the hell?
You got a lot of big ideas for sure.
Big ideas. Oh, also, we moved in and things weren't finished. Yeah. We moved in. Our stuff's all here. And we were like, hey, like, we're a little concerned that, like, you didn't finish the stuff that you were supposed to do. And he was like, okay, you guys can move out. I thought we were in for like a hell of a situation. Yeah. And then since then, it's been kind of fine.
It's been great.
Minus the minor electrical work he made me do with him that one time in the basement. I was like, he's like, do you feel comfortable doing some minor electrical work? And I was like, honestly, no, not really. And he was like, oh, it's fine. I turned all the electric off anyway. Come on. And then I just did it.
So gay of you.
So gay of me. I was like,
basement is a scary place too. That's the one. There's a whole basement down there, and there have been times where we were like, is someone living down there?
Literally, there's a bathroom down there. Like there may have been times where people were in there
squatting,
but it's also it's great for storage.
Yeah,
it's been
great
good
storage.
It's awesome.
Don't know what I would have done without it.
Literally, what would we be doing? Yeah. Thank God for that. Okay, anyway, those are the quirks of our house. The barn door, obviously, is still huge.
We live on a hill, a really intense hill. And that's the first thing. I think, we have forgotten about it at this point.
Yeah, well, we're also lucky because we park in the back.
Park in the driveway, yeah.
So we're not dealing with it every day. But Zoe got in her very first car accident.
Yeah, I hit my neighbor's car real bad.
Yeah, but that wasn't your first car accident because you hit other people's cars.
Only one. And it wasn't as bad as this one. I fully broke the door in.
You literally...
That was bad.
Well, how did you do that?
Your mom was here, I think, right? Yeah.
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 My mom's seen a lot of things happen here too.
She's seen a lot.
Did we talk about that?
That was so recent.
Oh my God, that was June.
That was in June. Okay, this is my favorite Deb story to date. There's a lot of good Deb stories, but this one's really good.
Once again, this episode is sponsored by Lumi deodorant. My favorite product from Lumi is their deodorant wipes, especially this summer with my car, which I mentioned has no AC, but also I've been working on sets this summer and you have no time to go home and shower and get clean. And these wipes are perfect for like an in-between. You're on the go, you want to freshen up. It like goes beyond what deodorant feels like because it's like the wipe aspect of it, but also it is deodorant. So you're going to smell good, okay? You're going to smell great. And the great thing about Lumi is it is seriously safe to use on all parts of your body. Pits, under boobs, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, vulvas, and feet. And the best part is it was created by an OBGYN who was seeing how BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. So it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And it's pH balanced, so it's safe to use below the belt. You can choose from a variety of bright, fresh scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, and toasted coconut. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with my exclusive code ShannonXO. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code ShannonXO for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code ShannonXO at LumiDeodorant.com. Thank you to Lumi for sponsoring this video. I love you.
So Deb was staying here. I think you were maybe at... You were at Becca's maybe, or you were out of town or something?
Oh, I went to DC.
Yes.
For 2 days and came back.
For Pride.
I had to go for Pride, and then my mom was here the whole time with Zoe.
And I had a little rendezvous the night before, and it happened to be really close to my house. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna walk home. But it was a real walk. That was like the most walk of shame I've ever done in my life.
You had leopard print jacket.
I had a leopard print jacket, the mini skirt, tall heels, like mascara wiped around my face, my hair in a little rat's nest. But I was just like, I'm not calling an Uber. I'm 5 minutes walk away. And so
I would have definitely called an Uber.
No.
I
have such a hard time calling Ubers when it's just so close.
Yeah.
And anyways, I walk into the door and Deb is sitting there like a little angel, just with reading a book. And I walk in looking like that. We make eye contact. We lock eyes. I go, Deb, please don't judge me. And I just walk into my room. And she had the funniest little smirk on her face.
I'm dead. And she literally didn't even tell me it happened.
And then I told you the story with her, and she was like, oh, yeah, that was funny.
Like she was like protecting your secret or something.
She was.
Oh, she's sweet. She probably so cute. It probably made her feel young again. She's I love that. There's obviously like a lot of houseless people in Los Angeles. At one point, I think there was a group of them that decided they were going to make an encampment up on our hill because across the way is bare. But it lasted for like 1 week. I think they all were like, I'm not walking up and down this fucking hill.
Yeah.
So, and there's also coyotes. I got a ton of coyotes.
Massive den.
They're so scary. I mean, they're not scary. They don't really do anything. It would be scary if we had a little pet. It would be scary
if we had a cat or something.
Yeah, I'd be worried.
That would be terrifying.
And they also just like walk up and down the street.
Yeah.
All the time.
They go in our yard.
Oh my! They poop in our yard. Yeah, I swear to.
They do.
It has to be them.
No
one is letting their like human dog
leading their dogs to go shit in our yard.
No one is doing that. No. But there's poop in our yard sometimes. That is like dog looking. There's poop in our yard. Oh my God, a tree. Did we talk about that?
Oh my God, the tree fell. Guys, that was crazy.
And I wasn't here.
No, and I had just come home from tour, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had taken a weed gummy, which like I only do that to sleep. Otherwise, I'm like, because I freak out and I get weird. I had taken a weed. I get real weird.
I've never seen you high. Like I've never. I
don't let anybody see me high because it's just not a good thing. And so I am going to bed. I'm with my ex at the time, and we all of a sudden I hear a thump, and I look out my window and it's all green, and the whole tree just had fallen on the house.
It was a storm, right?
Thank God it was so like close to the house that it didn't like fall all the way through.
Yeah, just kind of like leaned.
It rested on it.
Yeah.
But then it was there for like a month, 2 weeks.
Oh my God, forever. David would not come break it down. I mean, our landlord.
And then they like shredded the tree, and then it was a pile of just wood in our yard
for another week. That was a crazy. I can't believe that happened.
There was a lot of storms.
What should we tell them how you're going to change the house?
Yeah. I feel like, what am I going to change? I mean, I'm going to do a lot of painting, which is exciting.
It'll look good.
I'm going to make the whole room pink now.
I know. At first it was just the one wall. Now she's going to do the whole thing.
I might do a little bit less of a pink. We'll see what. My friend is going to help me, who's an interior designer, going to help with like a bunch of stuff. But I'm going to do that, taking the fans off.
Yeah.
They're ugly. I don't know why, like, that wasn't a thought before. I mean, it was a thought, but we just never.
It just never happened. I feel like it's really easy to move into a place and have like ideas.
Do a lot of things, and then you like lose the steam.
Yeah,
kind of.
But I think it's gonna be helpful me leaving, because I feel like it'll.
When you have like a new reset. Yeah.
Also, like it's gonna feel like a whole new place.
Totally.
Cool.
Also, it'll be like helpful for me to just feel like, okay, now I'm gonna like also go in the mode of like throwing shit away and like getting that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna just make it look nicer when you like
walk in.
When we like also when we film and stuff, like the background is just that weird wood panel.
I know, so smart. I'm so excited because my new place has like a nice kitchen, and I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, when I live there, then I would maybe like make more like. Random videos in there, you know, like cooking something or making a drink.
Anything in this kitchen.
It's so dark, and like there's nowhere to put anything. It's crazy, like that you should think about that as an influencer when you move in.
You have to. No, you literally have to.
It's like so weird, but we did think about the light.
Yeah, the light's important,
which is crazy though, because I filmed this podcast like filming towards no light. It's all not natural light.
Yeah.
Curious what the whole new setup will look like.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come on again. You'll be in a new space.
Oh my God.
You will literally be my most I guess Casey came on twice, but you are the most.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times the charm.
Okay.
It is really it's been so incredible to watch as your friend and as your roommate, to see like just this idea that you had, and then like the guests that have recently been in your bedroom. It's so weird. So incredible. It's really, really been amazing to see.
Thank you, Zoe. It is crazy. And Zoe's kind of like the welcome party a lot of times. Like I'm like, and this is my roommate, Zoe.
I'm like, hi. And I sit down.
And I'm like, that's Raven Simone. Like, what? That's so not normal. Like I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. I guess it's not that crazy for us to have like lesbians up and around this house.
Yeah.
There have been a lot.
There's been a lot.
There have been a lot of lesbians in here. And we were just joking earlier before about our old group chat that we had, which was like Homos in the Hills. No one survived that.
No one survived.
We had a group chat with like at least four couples.
Yes. Yeah.
All broken up.
Broken up. And even some friends that are just like
broken
full
up.
Friend breakups. Yep. Where it's not like not just
like
talking. Like
no, everyone is. It crumbled. It really crumbled. It is crazy for like lesbians or queer people. Breakups in general.
Yeah.
Follow different rules than straight breakups, which we were talking about too. Just the fact that like a lot of those people, even though they've broken up, are still friends with both.
Yes.
Everyone is like, there's friends.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No,
just makes it really complicated though for group hangs. We used to throw so many parties here. Many parties. Now.
No parties at all. No. It just, I feel like it started just going off the rails.
It really did. And also it's like it always happens like that. One breakup happens and then it's like
all
boom, boom. Was I the first breakup?
I think you were in that group chat. Let me think. Well, there was another, but not a real one.
Oh, like yeah,
like
a more subtle.
But you were, I think you were the first of like all of the really solid couples that
then still existed. Us.
Now they're all done.
It's
really so
it's
crazy.
really sad in a way,
but also maybe it's nice. It's like a full restart for everybody because it was that was such a specific era of time. Also, we were in such a like when we moved in together, you had all of your friends and I had all of my friends. And so there was all these lesbians that like I hadn't met and you hadn't met. We formed our groups together, and it was like a honeymoon phase of like, we lived in this house and we were throwing these parties. We were going on trips as this group, and
people fell in love.
People fell in love.
It's so sad, but it was bound to happen.
Special, and we knew. I think it was so bittersweet too. I remember we would talk about it. When we all hung out and did these parties and stuff. We're like, this isn't gonna last forever.
Yeah, because someone's gonna like. What if one of us breaks up?
Yeah.
We should have known. Well, I think we did.
We did
know. Yeah. Because also at the same time, like, I don't think any of those couples should be together.
No.
That have broken up.
No. Definitely not.
Everything happened the way it was supposed to.
It's like those relationships were supposed to exist in that time frame, and then that's...
Yeah, and we had so much fun. So we threw a lot of parties here, and also just a lot of parties in general. We've thrown a lot of parties.
Many parties.
So
the amount... Our alcohol closet is still stacked.
All the time.
Stacked.
We can't run out of alcohol
we'll
here.
We'll never run out because everybody's always bringing something. We don't buy. I think I
barely
buy.
barely. But yeah, we never run out of alcohol. We're always hosting, which also we've talked about. I think we talked about in the first episode, but that's a huge reason why this
roommateship worked so well, because we both need to be around people all the time. We love being around people, and we love hosting. We love people in our space.
Totally. And we love to coordinate with plans.
We are like a glue of a lot of people. Yeah.
And we work so well together too, because I'm way more lax, but I'm also very like, I want to do it too. So you got to control more of the elements of the party, but then I was also very down, and we'd be like, I'll go get the ice. I'll go get this. We were a good... such a good team. We make a good little team. It's sad, but also it will continue on. We will be friends forever. Having a podcast or a digital footprint in general, which we all do now because of Instagram and like the way everyone is using social media, but it's so crazy, like to have like full blown sit down hour-long conversations with people and be like
on record. It's like a journal.
It's the only journal I've ever had.
Yeah.
I guess when you and Becca were talking about that the other day, I was being
Your
like,
journal is...
Yeah, the internet.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Everybody's got a front row seat to your journal.
For better or worse, this is my journal. Mostly for the better. Okay. Should we talk about the first time we sat down on this little bed together?
Yes. Whoa.
Very different time in our life. That was December.
Beginning of December. And that was so crazy because I had just gone on my break. I was on a break with my ex. And I think at the time, both of us were like, we had planned to do that episode always.
Yeah, Zoe was always supposed to be like my first or second guest, because I think Rebecca Black is the first, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, it'll be perfect because you both are my friends. Like, it'll be easy to talk to you. It was just in the calendar. It was in the books.
Yeah. Maybe thinking back, maybe I should. Yeah, maybe
that ruffled some feathers. Really, that episode, the really timing of it was probably taking accountability here. Probably we could have done another
timing for sure.
Day.
Yeah, I do have regrets about the timing.
It was just really fresh, I think, for people.
It was so fresh, and I think both of us similarly are just so used to processing things that we go through online, and that's like what I know. And also with my last two breakups, like I wasn't in contact at all. It was just much more clear cut. So like I wasn't in contact at all with them, so it was easier for me to just be like, well, I'm just gonna like process all this stuff online and not fear the repercussions of like how it's gonna affect this person, because we are just not even speaking on speaking terms.
Yep.
But with my last situation, it's like we were hoping to get back together, and we were technically on a break, and so it was a lot messier to do the way that I did it. That was such a like sensitive time because I didn't know how to refer to her. I was like, do I call her my girlfriend still, or my ex, or past I had no idea what the verbiage even would be.
Yeah, totally. And I think the fact that we didn't know that is another sign that we should have been like, done it. Okay, so we made mistakes.
We've made mistakes. We've made mistakes.
I've made a lot of mistakes. And I'm so sorry to anyone who I've heard from them.
Me too. That conversation was still very, I think, there were good things that came from it.
Oh my
Very
gosh, yeah.
useful and very like
Also, I think
interesting things that we talked about, but it was the timing of it all.
Yeah. I also think the fallout of like learning how and why what we did hurt feelings is smart. Like it's everything that happens like that. You just take it and hopefully it can like adjust in the future about.
It's all like I think it's all for a reason. I feel like that was so jarring for her that maybe that also helped her be like, I don't think I can date someone who's doing
totally
that, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
and that's fine.
Everyone learns
sometimes
something.
There needs to be some like big thing like that.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is in December, you were on a break. Yeah. And I do feel like when you went on said break, I was having a really hard time trying to like bite my tongue and I don't really believe in breaks. Yeah. And I was honest with you about it.
Yeah.
I should have listened back to that episode. I listened to the Valentine's Day.
One. So we should listen to it afterwards.
Yeah. Like a lot has changed since then too. Yeah. But I was trying to be very like gently, like a lot of breaks I've seen in the past end poorly or like badly.
Yeah.
Versus
it's just the soft breakup. Mm-hmm. Most of the time it is, ultimately I'm glad that it happened the way it happened because I think it would have been so brutal to have it just be like, okay, now we are just fully broken up. I think sometimes you like, it's delusional, but you just like need that, the hope in the beginning that you could maybe get back together while you're navigating the breakup and while you're having all these realizations of like, oh, maybe this is for the best. Mm-hmm. But you don't think that it could be for the best when the breakup first happens.
Totally.
You're like, oh my God, absolutely not. We need to be together.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially because I think, and obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you and your ex-partner were really kind of still in love when you broke up.
Totally.
Like the feelings were very much like still very intense, but it was just more like circumstantially life not lining up right.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you had done a like cold turkey breakup, that would have been, I don't know that you would have been able to do it.
No.
Which is also like a huge problem I've talked about for myself is I think a lot of times I stay in relationships too long because I don't know how to end them. When there are feelings there still, I'm like, we can fix this, we can fix this, we can fix this, instead of maybe looking at it and being like, what are we fixing? Because clearly something isn't working. And instead of doing it then, you wait 6 more months and then a lot more damage is done. So it almost is kind of like, I guess it kind of happens that way, whether the label is there or not break,
you know? The damage,
you did do damage.
There was damage afterwards. Yeah. We were still in contact, like the contact element, if you're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is the right way to break up? It's tough. It's hard. It is always going to be hard.
No contact immediately. Yeah. And then, right?
Yeah. I mean.
And still then, it's like depends on what the relationship was.
Yeah. I think maybe what it is the second that you feel, not the second, because I think some people also self-sabotage and break up like when they shouldn't. But like the second that you're really feeling like you can't make it work in a healthy way. Break up, no contact.
Yeah.
Even if it's like maybe one day. It's not like we can't talk for now, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows? It's crazy because you watch all of our friends, as we said, have broken up.
Yeah.
So we've been watching.
And it's funny you see them at different times. Like now we've gone through ours. We're very much on the other side of ours. And so seeing now breakups happening right now, it's like I have to remember to give my friends much grace because I'm like, God, I dragged my breakup out a lot. Like I probably was a miserable person to talk to around that time. And I just went on and on and on about it. And
you're like, it's weird because we're breaking up and we didn't all break up right at the exact same time. So it's like
ours happened very around the same time, like a little bit, like a couple months apart. Right?
Yeah, but like that's the same as everyone else's. That's the crazy thing because it's like
they were a couple.
Because then you're watching your friend break up. You've just broken up 3 months before. Then your friend is like where you were 3 months ago.
Yeah,
and you have to remind yourself, oh my God, that was like terrible 3 months ago.
Yes,
and then it's like different though, which we can now talk about. Let's talk about our breakups. Let's talk about our breakups.
So we've been through a lot together. All right. 3.5 years living together and being as close as we are and navigating the amount of like highs and lows
Yep.
It's
a lot.
And the biggest one being
The breakups.
You went through a breakup, and then I went through a breakup, and before that happened, like the four of us really were together all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that in that
it was
episode,
like,
right? We were like that. We were like a commune.
We
were always in this house, just.
And there was always the fear of like,
we're like, oh no, even who's gonna, if somebody breaks up here, like this is just shattered.
And we literally did talk about it. The four of us would be like, that would be
bad.
That would be bad. That would be really hard. What would we do? Guess what? It didn't go well.
No.
Exactly. The thing about like, oh, I broke up 3 months before you. Then it's like you want to project your own timeline onto the other person.
Absolutely.
Both directions, right? Where the person who's already mourned the loss of their whatever is kind of like, okay, like let's get over this quicker.
Yeah.
And the other person is looking at that. Why don't we should just say it how it is.
Yeah.
So Zoe's looking at me being like, how are you? How can you be okay now?
How are you okay? Like, how can you move on? Like all these things. And also like, I feel like there were some like similarities to me about my ex and you. And so I, whether that's true or not, I was like started projecting so much onto you because I felt like I was like, oh my gosh. Like
I was a mirror.
You were a mirror. Yeah, totally. And I started projecting my own breakup onto you in a big way.
Yeah. And we're also so close. And even in the Valentine's Day one, we're joking, being like, we're in like a domestic partnership.
Yeah.
And then it like really felt like, I'm like, oh, are we breaking up too? So we're all breaking up. But the irony is like the internet. Oh, the internet.
They always know.
They're like,
up.
They're like, I think they're fighting. And we're like,
you might be a little bit right.
But we don't fight in a way where we're fighting. It's just.
Which maybe is worse because I feel like we both are. I mean, I'm especially like really, really hold stuff.
We're conflict avoidant.
Too, yeah, you hold stuff in that bothers you. And I also like things that bother me. I wait forever to say it. And then it builds up. And we're both very conflict avoidant.
Very conflict avoidant. But the irony is you are also, you'll get passive aggressive.
Really passive aggressive.
Well, so not even just passive aggressive, maybe harsh, but just.
No, but
you can't hide.
I can't hide my emotions are really, really like on my face.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're very forward.
Even if I'm saying something different, like you probably
can pick up on it.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't feel like I'm more like you probably can't tell that much.
No,
although you can, because I watched that podcast back and I was not happy on Valentine's Day, and I can hear it in my voice. I'm like, hey, so I can't hide it exactly, but yeah. But this is like, so the few times we have gotten in fights, which are not fights, I wouldn't say, but the few times something is wrong.
There's been like hard conversations.
Yeah. And most of the time I feel it like builds and builds and builds. I can tell that something's wrong. And I'm like, I wish she would just tell me. And then I'm like, she's not going to do it. So I'm going to have to. So then I have to be like, can we get drinks?
I'm so annoyed for that. And I'm learning.
We're growing. We're learning.
Growing and learning. Yeah, no, that's so frustrating that that's something that I definitely, as a conflict avoidant Libra, like need to work on.
Well, it's harder with friends. I think conflict with friends is way harder than with like a couple.
It's so scary. Also, when you live with someone, it's scary. You're like, oh no, like I don't want this to like.
Totally. Roommates is like a whole other layer because you're like, okay, well, what if we have the confrontation and it doesn't go well?
Then what?
And then we have to live in this awkward space for how long?
Yeah.
Which we should have always known it was going to go well because as soon as we talked, things got better. And honestly, things didn't even like immediately get better.
No, it took
time,
slow,
but
yeah. And there was a few. I feel like there was a few
things
talks.
Yeah.
It needed. It was like it was a big moment, and it needed like more.
Yeah.
Like needed time in between all of the talks and stuff too.
Totally. And obviously there were layers to it, right? So there's like the projection of your breakup onto me. I feel like I just kind of got like a little bit of the punishment you probably wish you could give. And then what we've talked about and what I'm sure will get talked about on this podcast all the time, but lesbian breakups being very complicated with friend groups. And then just like both of those things happening, I think simultaneously.
In straight breakups, it is a little bit more because it's like the guys hanging out and then the girls hanging out. Like this, we talk about this too with like in friend groups, how a lot of the times there isn't a lot of separation between like partners and friends, which sometimes is an issue.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Totally.
Yeah. And then in straight friend groups, there is more of a like, oh, I'm hanging out with the guys tonight, or I'm hanging out with the girls tonight. Totally. And so when breakups happen, it's like, yeah, why would
you didn't do it
like hang out with that guy, like with the ex who's a guy?
Yeah.
But it's like when we're all just together all the time.
Yep.
And like build these relationships.
It's like, how are you supposed to pick? And you shouldn't have to pick. Also, an interesting thing to say about that is it's crazy too with lesbians and queer women, the information exchange that is going on at all times. Even when we were all in a relationship, then you're hanging out with like
girls are gossipy,
literally gossiping with each other, and like in a way that is like, I don't know how you could avoid it. Because also gossip is kind of like
human language.
Yeah, and also it's like we've developed it through evolution to protect ourselves. And also it's how you make friends. I was learning on TikTok, like you gossip to someone and then you can tell if they have the same morals as you, if the same thing bothers them. Yeah, they're like, oh, like this is someone who I could be friends with. So there's so much positive that comes along with gossip, but obviously there's so much negative.
I think most of our friends are pretty good at like discretion and also like not sharing things that like
that you shouldn't.
It's like,
it's not helpful.
That like it's just not, that isn't helpful, or that would be like, you know, breaking the loyalty with that person.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's
well, also someone random will say it to you.
Someone so random that's not really like
you'll literally be at a bar and someone will be like, oh, I saw so-and-so in Zessa.
Yeah.
And you're like, why the fuck did you tell me that?
Oh, cool. Like, yeah, they were at the farmer's market. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm like, don't ask, don't tell personally. Like post breakup, I don't want to know things. Like I don't want any information. Some people need it because it creates, I think, probably a sense of control.
Helps maybe also.
Yeah. Well, also, I know that some people, when they're in that scenario, they want to hear it before they see it, or before, like, you know what I mean? They're like, if other people know this about them, I need to know
too, because I don't want to be the only one like on the outs of this information. That's so true.
I understand. I think it's like it's literally like a survival technique. But for me, I'm like, don't fucking tell me. I don't need to know.
I feel like for me, I feel like hearing stuff like puts a distance between me and the person. Like all of the information that I hear, I'm like, oh, that is a new person. That's not the person that I was with. And it makes it easier.
Yeah, I get
sometimes, because
totally.
I'm just like, oh, like we are just fully in different places. That's a whole new life that they're living, and like it becomes like, we've talked about this before, the idea of like past partners becoming almost like characters. That you're just like, I forgot that you're real because you just became this character that I you know, in my story that I talk about, and you know,
totally, yeah, it can help definitely disconnect you in a way where you're like. And also remind you that they're living life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're thinking in a way where you just kind of block out that person, it's like they could cease to exist, really, if you're not hearing about them. So when you hear that things are happening, you're like, oh my God, yeah, that's a real person. They're really out here living, doing things.
Yeah.
And as you do that, you're like growing apart from each other, no matter what those things are. Literally, no matter what those things are. It's like, oh, you went on a trip with your family? That's 2 weeks of stories I don't know about.
Yeah.
Which is like a weird, like...
So weird.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But also healthy and good. Do you think we did good?
I think we did good.
But we did okay with that, right?
Yeah. I feel like we did good, right?
Also, we made up. Let's just end it with that. Everything, now we're great. And the move out has nothing to do with anything that happened when we were not getting along. We
navigated that really,
Yeah, actually confronted it. Yeah. Fixed it.
Yeah.
And now can leave feeling like
so like good.
Nothing was unsaid.
Yeah.
Said it all. This is also like a few months ago now.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm so relieved that we like got through it, because it would make me so sad if we like lost a friendship and a roommate. Don't cry. Well, now that we went through that, and thank God we didn't break up, where are you now in your breakup? I mean, can you even say breakup anymore? I guess technically, when do you feel like you fully broke up?
When do you say like, I mean, I feel like I fully broke up like in...
When did you go no contact?
May.
Damn.
It's really recent. Yeah.
So you're like still really going through a breakup.
But not really. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I did the very classic lesbian, like really messy thing of like, which I feel like is just so common. It's so really hard to, you think in the beginning that you can just stay friends and that you can, I think in the beginning too, when we were both still talking and we were like we started telling each other everything that we were doing. And I think that even though it was so masochistic, it gave me a sense of control still, like knowing, and it made me feel like, okay, I'm still the person the closest to her, and I'm still the number one because she's sharing these things with me. And obviously I realized very quickly that wasn't healthy, and both of us realized, and we're like, okay. But yeah, the like official like no contact situation didn't happen until May. There was a lot of talk about like getting back together for sure. So I think that's why, like up until that point. So I think that's why it just prolonged the whole breakup in such a major way. And then it's probably why it still feels, when I talk about it, it's like, it does feel
fresh.
Feels like long ago, but it feels so there are elements that are so fresh, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but where I'm at now in my journey, I love being single. I thrive as a single person. I think that's another thing that I've realized. I think I was like, I feel like I was on like a high horse of being like, oh, like no one can be you, and my ex can't be single. And I think I've just realized that some people they thrive in relationships, and that's fine. And like, so that is, I don't think there's a right or a wrong anymore. And I think for me, I do thrive alone. And maybe there are elements that's like, I fear being in a relationship for other reasons, you know? And so like, it is comfort, the way that it's comfortable for some people to be, you know, in a dynamic dating. It's comfortable for some people to be alone. I think I am very comfortable alone.
Being all alone.
But I do love dating. I love dating. It's so fun.
You're also good at doing.
I'm good at dating.
I talked about this in my last episode. I was like, you know, we all have a friend who like can date like multiple people, like figure that out and like find balance in their life. Yeah. That stresses me out.
Yeah.
Like to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hurt someone's feelings. Whose feelings am I going to hurt? Like I'm like it's like my stomach is growling crazy. But when I said it in the thing, I was obviously referencing you. Because you are good at just more casual dating vibes.
I feel like I intuitively I seek out people that are also on the same wavelength. Yeah. I think the minute if I'm feeling like somebody is maybe going to be wanting something more, or even on a first date, I'm like, that's what they're looking
intention
for, like a connection like that. I swerve. Yeah, then I know that that's not for me right now, because I know myself, and I just know that I'm not ready to be in a relationship again. Which maybe I will be if like the right person comes along, but I think it is up to like the person having an open. I don't know if I'm open to that, so I don't think the right person could even come along, because I'm not.
You're not putting out that energy.
Right now. I think the few people that I've met in this time that I'm like, maybe I could. We're so avoidant, so I'm like, that is
like perfect.
So that makes so much sense. It's like, of course, the only people that I'm like, maybe like I could be in a relationship with that person, it can't happen because they are so avoidant.
It's good that you clock that. Too.
And I feel like I'm realizing, I talked to your sister about this
really
when you were in the shower the other day, and she was talking about a book that she had read just like getting different needs met. This happens a lot when you're single. It's like you start getting, you know, all the needs that you get met usually by a partner start being split up into a bunch of people. Yeah. So there are certain friends that provide certain kinds of intimacy, and then that I go to for certain things. And then there are, I have like some friendships where I'm like, that feels like a literal partner. That feels like a relationship, but we are just not hooking up. And then hookups also are just, there's some that just are, this is just very physical. Yeah. And you can have an amazing, that is so crazy to me, that you can have like unbelievable
chemistry,
sexual experience with somebody and know that you are not going to date them and like not necessarily even need to see them again.
That is crazy.
But also, so
it makes sense. I feel like a lot of the reason why like lesbians are quick to get into relationships is because when you go on a date with someone and you're like, oh my God, you are like a very like eligible bachelor.
Yeah.
There's this like instinct in us that you're like, okay, I need to be exclusive with you quick.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
There's no one else.
No one is going to be like, think about like, you are such a catch. Awesome career, like cool person. Like I feel like if someone went on a date with you, if they weren't an avoidant person, they would be like, oh my God, I want to see you again. I want to see you again. I want to see you again. And you just instinctually avoid those people.
I do. I really do.
Yeah. Because even your last partner wasn't right away wanting to date you.
I chased her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't think so. Here's the thing. If you want to date Zoe, do not come on too strong. Okay. She will run away from you. What you need to do is barely text her back.
No, it's so problematic. I'm trying to be more grown. I'm fine with texting back now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. See, she's growing right in front of our eyes.
But I think I really like a slow burn. I really do. And like a very slow getting to know somebody without the pressure of being like, oh, now we're going to maybe date. You know?
Yeah.
I like let's get to know each other on, you know.
It's going to be so exciting to see what
the next relationship is going to be.
What it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not when and if, just when.
Yeah.
You will obviously have another.
And, what the dynamic will be.
Who is it?
I did, I forget if I had told you about this already or if I had you answer this question, but I did something like, here we're talking about gardens and flowers again. We talked about that on that first episode and got in trouble for that one too.
Got in trouble for that one too.
But I was with a friend who was like, oh, my therapist had me make this relationship flower. And it's like basically a visual representation of what you would like your next partner, the qualities you would like your next partner to bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And the core of the flower is like the one thing you will not compromise on. Like you absolutely need that in your next relationship. And then the first layer of petals is things that you would also really like to have. And then you can keep making more petals, but the farther away they get, the more it's just like, okay, that would be nice, but like it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, not.
And it's just nice to like look at and be like, oh, that's a visual representation of like who I would like to be in a partnership with, or who I would like to come into my life at some point. And yeah, and the core of my flower was just being happy for me and just like liking to watch me shine. And yeah, that was the core of my flower. What would the core of your flower be? I know it's, but yeah, you can still answer it even if you're in a relationship.
The core. What would it be? I feel like, I feel like, I don't know. Because I feel like for me, if I were to have made this flower after each relationship I've had,
it would be a different answer.
The core 100%. Would probably be the thing that I felt I was missing most in the last one, you know? Yeah. And then I think the outer ones would probably be very similar, you know, like kindness and all those things. But
oriented,
all that stuff would probably stay the same. And I think it's I can even see in myself the way that manifested between each person. Like what I was missing with one, I found in the next, like, and that's not why I broke up with these people, right? But like, your brain is like, okay, I really need that.
It's a natural reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't want to say because I don't want to. No, I don't want to imply anything about my last relationships, but I would say like in general, those like middle things would just be like, I think like a sense of like purpose and like self and kindness and family, like kind to my family.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I've never go into relationships ever since like coming out needing that person to have a good relationship with their family, just because I've seen so much of like with queerness and like
people can't control
chosen family and stuff. Not to say any of my exes didn't have a good relationship with their family,
but you're also like you have such a beautiful.
But I'm like, I want you to like my family.
So as long as you can come into that dynamic and you love to be around my family and you're gonna make an effort, then that's like all you could ask for.
That's more important than the opposite. Obviously, both are nice.
Yeah,
but I feel like just like the normal, nothing like crazy. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
it really you will get what you're looking for. Is what.
Yeah.
I've seen happen for myself, and like also I think other people too, which I've talked about too on the podcast. Like I find myself kind of almost not overcorrecting, but like between people kind of like being like, okay, and what did I want that I didn't have? Which I'm like, eventually, hopefully it will be the perfect person, Becca. But like I think that's what dating is, right? I think that's what dating is, and the biggest difference between me and like you or someone who dates like you and someone who dates like me is I've had relationships and they have been longer, and like less time between.
You're having all this like you're like learning all these things, all this experience with one person,
which I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do it, but
not. I wrote a song about that recently. Did I show you that one?
No, what is it?
It's basically, it's called Won the Breakup. Like we both won the breakup. It's like there's no right. It's like I wouldn't want to be you. You wouldn't want to be me. You just want to be held, and I just want to be free.
Wow.
There's no right or wrong. We just see differently. Yeah.
It's
just there really is. There's no way, like right way to do it.
There's no like rules also in this life. Like we are all just trying to figure it out and be happy. So letting people find that for themselves, however it is, that's the key to life. Also in your breakup era, you had a bit of dare I say hoe phase.
Oh yeah.
Which has inspired your most recent song, Hypocrite, which if y'all have not listened, great tune, great songs on my playlist.
Thank you.
And it's so funny to live with an artist as like that's all these things are happening,
and like then processing it through
the art. And also you're the fastest turning around songwriter of anyone I've ever been around. And I've been around the music industry. You will literally write a song and then it's out within a few months.
Okay, I feel like that's not usual. I feel like with this
one
is
you did
unusual because it's on the deluxe album. So it was nice that like the album was done. I went through my breakup and I'm like, God damn it. I was having such a hard time writing for this album. And now I have so much to write about. And so I wrote all these songs that I love so much. And then I was like, okay, perfect. I'll just stick them on the deluxe album. And Hypocrite was the first one of those batch. And I love this. It's one of my
it's so
favorites.
good.
I feel like, I love the album too, but when that came out, I was like, okay, like I think Hypocrite it's one of the songs that I would listen to a song like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I remember when I wrote it, we were still talking, me and my ex, and so I remember we went to like a day date, like the Getty Museum, and I told her about the song. Like she knew about the song a long time ago. And I remember going into the studio and being like, in the breakup, like I was doing my thing.
Like, do you want to tell them the lyrics of the song?
The beginning is, she picked me up at 9, drank some wine, 69. Said I'm just, which actually that happened. My first experience, the fact that my first experience sleeping with someone after my 2-year relationship,
we
69, and I feel like I just like didn't know what was like normal anymore, and I was just like, wow, like
well, nothing is normal or not normal, I'm sure, but that I will say, when you came out of your room and you're like, we 69, I was like, oh, wow, usually
first date,
that takes some time for me to get into that position, a lot of time.
And so the song is like, first it's my POV and all these things I'm doing, and being like, this is such an escape, because it's like when I'm home alone, I am miserable because I'm missing you so much. But then when I'm like with these other people and like having these encounters, it's a distraction from that. And it's the classic, like getting under somebody to get over somebody situation. And then I realized the minute I heard about her sleeping with someone for the first time, which, we were very much in contact, so it was like I heard from her own. Yep. I didn't have to hear it around the grapevine. I became crazy.
Yeah,
I was insane during that time, and I just realized, I was like, this is so messed up of me. Like I need to give her the same freedom to explore and to like have these experiences, and like not make her feel bad or guilty for it. That's so and
hypocritical.
Yeah, I'm such a hypocrite for this, and I learned, I feel like around that time, before I wrote the song even, like when I had that realization, I was like, okay, we're not telling each other anything anymore, and you go do all the things you want to do, and I want you to, and I love that for you. And, but yeah, then I wrote the song, and I feel like it is such a, relatable thing.
That is so relatable.
You're like, I want to go do my thing, but like, you should only find me attractive.
Yep.
What? You want to sleep with someone else?
So relatable. And Zoe is also going on tour.
Yay.
In September. So if you are in
cities,
lots of cities, I'm going to put the link in the bio that you can buy tickets to her show. They're not all sold out yet, so there's a chance you could go see Zolita.
It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be a big gay party.
Yeah. Do you want to just tell them anything about the tour?
Yeah. So the whole thing is, the show is like pageant themed. It's gonna be very theatrical, and definitely an opportunity to dress up, whatever that means to you. And yeah, it's just gonna be so much fun. It's definitely like the biggest production I've ever done. Lots of choreography,
cool outfits,
really cool outfits, and elements from the videos like put onto the stage.
Yay. Yeah. You have to go see it. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Just from the stuff I've seen in my own house, I will be attending that tour. See me in Los Angeles. That's going to be so sick. I can't wait. Okay. Love you guys so much, and check out all of Zoe's stuff in the link below, all of her socials, all of her tour stuff. You have a website, right?
Yeah.
Her website, all of that stuff will be below. Love you so much. Oh.